YouTube, how you doing? Raj here, hope you guys are well. I have a review today on a fragrance from the brand Roja Parfum, and this one is called Enigma from his Parfum Cologne range. This is a fairly new range where he has created this thing called the Parfum Cologne, which is the freshness of a cologne with the long-lasting power of a parfum. So this was I was pretty interested in this line, and I managed to get samples of the entire line. And this fragrance was the one that I was keen on the most because it's my favorite Roja Parfum fragrance. I used to own it in the Eau de Parfum version, which is now discontinued, which used to sell at 100 ml for £225, which is the same price as this one. So I was kind of glad that they were reintroduced, sort of, but with a slightly different take. From what I've tried so far, and I will be talking about I've already done a review of Scandal Pour Homme, and I've got a few more to talk about. But this is the one that I was keen on the most. So I got a decant here. I didn't feel the need to wear the entire decant because, as I said, I've owned this fragrance in the past, so I do know this one, and I've tried it a few times in store from like the full bottle. So getting into the notes, in the top notes, this is just from the Roja Parfum website, and the notes seem to be the same they don't specify like the Parfum Cologne or the Parfum version, which is a higher concentration, £375 for a 50 ml. They don't specify like whether there are particular notes for which one, but anyway, top notes of bergamot, heart notes of geranium, rose de mai, neroli, jasmin de grasse, jasmine from grass basically, heliotrope, and in the base there is cardamom, ginger, pepper, patchouli, cognac, tobacco, sandalwood, vanilla, benzoin, and ambergris. So I think this one, what I liked about this one is that it did stay true to the original, and when I say original, I'm kind of referring to the EDP because that's the one I'm most familiar with. It did stay true to that, but definitely has a slightly lighter profile, which I do like, but I think also has its, I would say, faults. Yeah, this is definitely like an evening type wear fragrance. I've worn this on evenings in cold weather, and it works really well. Performance on my skin is good. Like, I don't get like amazing performance, but I definitely get around 7 hours, which is actually quite a decent amount of time. Projection can be very strong. I once oversprayed this, and a lot of people around me were noticing it. They all liked it. Compliment heavy fragrance, that's for sure. But it was quite potent in the opening, which is, I suppose, a good thing, you know, if you like the fragrance and you like loud fragrances. For me, I think men or women could wear this. I can see a lot more men gravitating towards this. It is, it does have Pour Homme in the title, which probably will contribute, and is a fragrance that I feel can be worn almost year round. I think this smells really nice in fairly warm, but when the weather is kind of like just cooling down slightly, like summer evenings, that's when I have experience with my old Eau de Parfum bottle when I wore it in those conditions. But yeah, the EDP, I believe I gave it like a 9 out of 10 or 9.5 or something like that. I think it's the most unique Roja Parfum fragrance. So getting into this one, so the Parfum Cologne does definitely lighten up the whole olfactory profile, and I think the opening is still great. The opening does kind of almost match, I would say, the EDP, the old EDP. And I've done a fresh spray, and my god, this is such a beautiful cognac, vanilla, cakey type feeling here. Tobacco, a touch of tobacco, giving it a kind of sweetness actually to the fragrance. It doesn't smell smoky or really too earthy. It is this, it's been often said, this Coca-Cola vibe. It really does give off like fizzy cola bottle vibe, but done in a really sophisticated way, a velvety texture to this fragrance, which is honestly one of the best openings to a fragrance that I have experienced. So a lot of the base notes actually come out, I feel, in the top, which is a little bit strange. There's like a kind of a warmish benzoin labdanum maybe touch to this, giving this a very rich ambery feeling. That's the opening of this fragrance. Now, going back to the eau de parfum, what I really loved about the eau de parfum is that it developed with the most incredible spicy notes of cardamom. Maybe there was that vanilla, I remember, came through really nicely. But the cardamom was the key note, really the key note, which I know I mentioned it in the note breakdown, but I think they have taken it away in the Parfum Cologne version, and they have added maybe, they've amped up the vanilla and the benzoin in the dry down, which actually I think is a bit of a shame. I know they wanted to create something different, and I imagine the Parfum version has this wonderful cardamom note that I like, but it's taken away here, and I feel it lacks a bit of body to this fragrance. It's probably done on purpose. I can't really say it's a criticism, because I think they've intended to lighten up the whole structure. But the cardamom was one thing I really enjoyed about the EDP. And this is an eau de parfum concentration also, but maybe to get my cardamom and cognac fix, I'm going to have to go with the parfum version, because this one has that wonderful opening. It starts to dissipate after a few hours. You are left with this cakey, bready, kind of like wood-soaked cognac vibe, which is still really nice. I mean, I have to say I do like it, but it's left me wanting the eau de parfum, or maybe, you know, the parfum version. So I guess it's not really the middle ground that I wanted, because, you know, the parfum is £375 for 50 ml. There's a hell of a lot of money. I mean, maybe if I'm feeling a little bit crazy, I might just go out and just buy that one instead. But maybe I will get this one to get my cognac fix, so to speak. It's a lovely fragrance, and I have to give it a high rating. Not as much as the EDP, but it's not far behind. So I'm going to go with an 8.5 out of 10. Very nice fragrance, I have to say. Guys, over to you. Are you a fan? Not really too much. You find it too boozy? What about the other Parfum colognes? Which ones are you feeling, or are you not really too keen on any of them? Whatever you have to say it. Drop a comment down below. Hit the like if you like what you see, and of course subscribe if you haven't done so already. I will appreciate that. Thanks for watching, and check me out on Instagram. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.